Welcome to the No Eggs podcast slash No Gay podcast, where we cover all things men's health, careers, everything along those lines. So we have a very special guest today, Sophia Thao. What's up? What's up? Um, we've been talking a lot about social media and how important that is for growing a business and just how it's affected in today's world. And so we have an OG in
OG
the
of the
Hmong,
social media game.
yeah, in the Hmong social media, I guess, world. And so you've been doing it for a long time, and you have been probably one of the more successful Hmong content creators. Can you tell us about like the earlier days and like did you always know that it was gonna pop off? Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and
It's so
social
weird.
media.
Like I hate hearing that about myself because I feel like I am just a regular person. And so like when people say those things, I'm like, what? That's so weird. I'm like, I feel like I'm so ordinary.
Yeah.
But like, I would like to think that I have achieved some level of success.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like honestly, I had no idea that this would be what I was doing today. So I started YouTube because I saw, Michelle Phan. She was on there. And I was like, oh my God, like.
And
there's-
when was that? Like, what
this
year
was-
was that?
This
when
was
you
like
started?
2009,
Okay.
2008.
Yeah.
No, 2008. Yeah. So
That's
a long
early
time.
because YouTube is what 2004, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
YouTube is pretty early. Yeah, so that is early.
Yeah.
So I started, watching, and then back then makeup contests were really big, and so they would have makeup contests, and so I started making videos to put and to enter these contests so that I could win more makeup, and then
Nice.
just keep going because I grew up very poor, didn't have money, so I'm like, how can I get makeup and like support something that I'm interested in?
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of started doing that, and I started kind of gaining like a little following, and I used to post it on MySpace back then, so that's kind of how the YouTube part started. And then back then I was working for entertainment company, and she would always hire makeup artists to come do makeup for the promoters and the dancers. And so one day I was just like, hey, would you let me do makeup? Because I had no idea I could do makeup.
Right.
I wasn't even like really girly, and I definitely didn't really know how to do makeup. So when I started doing YouTube, I wanted to have more experience. I just wanted to play around with faces. So she was like, yeah, come in. I'll pay you. I was like, I'll do it for like $20 a face, which is crazy to me now. But yeah, I was like, I'll do it for $20 a face. And she really gave me the opportunity to like really test my skills. And it turns out I was kind of good at it. And, I started meeting people, started talking to people. People started hiring me. She says she saw my work and she thinks that I have the potential. So, shout out to her. May of Chosen One Productions. I love her.
Oh, wait, Chosen One.
Chosen
Nice.
One.
Yeah,
I think if she never gave me the opportunity, like, I'm sure I would have been okay. But like, it definitely gave me like that boost that I needed. So yeah, I started doing makeup like that, and then, I was young. I was probably like 18 at the time, and so of course I was like partying, living my life. Didn't take anything too seriously. I just had like my regular jobs, and I was doing YouTube. And I remember when I first became a YouTube partner, I was so excited. I don't even remember what it was. I think you needed like a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, and I was so excited. And that's when they started paying a little bit, but it was like barely pocket change. It was like 3 cents per like, I don't know, 1,000 views, like nothing.
Yeah.
But it was just exciting. It was a milestone. So yeah, I never took it seriously. I met my husband, and he always told he told me that he thought it was really cool. Because back then, who would have thought you can make money posting videos, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that. That's why, like, we wanted to have you here because you were doing it before it was a thing. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I've known you for a long time, and so I've seen, like, the start of it, and it's, like, really cool to, like, watch you blow up. But, like, back then, it was almost like a joke, right? It was almost like an
Yeah.
ongoing joke. Like if
Nobody
you were
took
on
me
YouTube,
seriously.
yeah, like if you were like posting too much or if you took social media like too seriously, you were kind of like
Yeah, I
kinda
mean, it
made fun
wasn't.
of,
Yeah,
right?
like you were. I felt like I was very, very judged.
Yeah,
You know, and it was hard for me at that time because I was young.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're young, like you feel the need
Yeah.
to feel accepted by your peers
Right,
and
right, right.
especially
Yeah.
your family.
yeah,
Like my mom, she didn't take me seriously for a long time.
yeah,
But yeah, as I was saying, like I met Alan and Alan was like, that's really cool. You
Yeah.
know, he was like, I think that it's like gonna blow up. And
Right.
he also believed in me as
Yeah.
well. But I feel like, you know, everyone else, like they probably didn't think it was serious. They probably thought
Yeah.
like,
Right.
"Well, oh, this, nah."
Yeah.
And honestly, like I just did it because I liked it, I enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
it was a good way for me to express myself.
yeah,
But yeah, I feel like people didn't take it seriously, and then so I didn't really take it seriously either because
Yeah.
I was starting to think like, okay, maybe I'm wasting my time. I'm becoming an adult. Bills are real.
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
making-
kind
I'm
of need
making
real
videos,
money.
yeah.
yeah,
But then you know, like I had my son, and I was like, okay, I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because I wanted to be able to raise my children. I wanted to be their caretaker. I never wanted to have like grandma raise them. So I was like, okay, how can I still maintain a career while still being a full-time mom?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take YouTube and makeup artistry seriously. And here we are. Like
Yeah.
it's been almost
Yeah.
11
What year
years.
what year in that from the first YouTube video you ever uploaded, click post, to when you were like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously. Like, what's the time length in that? Is it like a year, 2, 3? Is it like how many videos? 50 videos in, 20 videos in?
I
Like,
have
when
no
did you
idea
really?
how many videos. Because like I deleted all of them.
Oh, you
like,
deleted all your
so
stuff?
cringe. No,
So-
I regret it. I wish I would have just
Okay.
Yeah, you
privated
should've
them.
kept it.
Because
Because that
so
makes me want to
cringe.
go back to your page
Oh
now.
my
Because
God,
I was looking
yeah.
at it earlier and I was like, oh, yeah, it's cool. And I saw one that was like probably 10 years old, I think. But I
Yeah.
wish you would have left all the old ones because then I could see what you're talking about, which
Yeah.
is like, oh, that's what it looked like at the
Oh my
beginning.
god, no!
Because
I
I
had
enjoy
the
seeing the
worst
beginning.
attitude. No, I
Oh, really?
hated them because I feel like, you know, I was in a really dark place in my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
and I also, you know, I grew up in the hood, so
Yeah.
I had like
Yeah.
really bad attitude, and
You didn't like the presence that it was projecting in
Yeah.
those old videos? Okay.
yes, and I think about it, I'm just like, ugh, cringe. Like, why did I do that? You know, you know,
Are they gone forever? Like, or do you still have those somewhere on a
they're
hard drive?
gone. They're
Gone,
gone,
gone.
forever.
You wish you still had
That's
those
a
for
bummer.
yourself?
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
I do wish that I had it so I can
That
like
is the beginning, right?
so I can remember like
Yeah.
just how far I've come. You know, so
It's always.
I'll
nice
try to
see.
find my like oldest one. I think my oldest one is like privated somewhere. But gosh, where was I even going?
A couple years. Yeah. How many
Oh,
years
okay.
after?
So I would say I
after you
started
first
posting-
posted the first one.
I think I started posting in like during senior year. So that
Okay.
was like 2000.
2007 or something.
It was in like
2009.
2008.
for you guys. Okay.
8, 9, yeah.
It was like 2008. Yeah, I remember. It was like sometime in 2008, like fall 2008, and then, yeah, and then I didn't take it seriously until 2011.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
But you were posting from 08 to 11. You were posting here and there. You were pretty consistent with it. Like, I mean, like you were posting. You were trying. You were,
I wasn't like super consistent, but like I did try, you know, and like I said, I grew up really, really poor.
Yeah.
So like I didn't always have like everything that I needed to, you know, create. And that is something that like I want to encourage people to do is like just because you don't have the right, you know, like the best equipment, it doesn't mean that you can't create
Right.
because, you know, the quality of what you're creating is more important than the quality of
Quality
your
of the
video.
content.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I hear
So-
that a lot now. Like even now, like people are like, I'm gonna wait till I have this camera, or I'm gonna wait till I get X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
before I start putting stuff out, or I'm gonna wait till like I get this editing software
Mm-hmm.
down. And I'm just like, by then you're gonna be like
Yeah,
40 by then.
You're losing a lot of time.
and there's no better way to just learn than just to do it
To
and put
do
it
it.
out.
You gotta mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Messing up is the learning process.
Yeah.
My
well,
best advice for anyone, can I cuss?
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
I'm like, I don't know.
absolutely,
My
yeah.
best advice is like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
it's true.
I feel like pretending that I know what I'm doing, and just fucking
Yeah.
around has
Yep.
gotten me pretty far in life.
Yeah.
You know, like I recently picked up photography.
Yeah.
You know, I spent years like being behind the scenes, like, you know,
Right.
doing makeup, directing, styling, and things like that. And I just felt like it was the time has come that like I just needed to be the one behind the camera. But I'm just like, this is a whole new thing. Like I have to learn how to use the camera,
Right.
which gave me anxiety because, you know, video, using a camera for video and using a camera for photos are two different things. You
Right.
know, the
Yeah.
settings and having to learn all that. I was just like scared. And then, you know, I'm very against Photoshop because I feel like it has ruined the beauty industry and it's made my job as a makeup artist really difficult. So in my photography, I do try to, like I don't Photoshop. I only,
Okay.
you know, color correct. And, you know, I do like minimal blemishes, but like if you want me to make you look skinnier, I
Yeah.
get somebody else to do it, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So yeah, I was scared and I like doubted myself for a really, really long time. I was just like, because I started, I wanted to do photography and then I stopped because I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, I was like, I don't have the camera that I want. You know, I don't know how to edit. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to wing it. You know, I'm tired of just sitting around and like hating on myself. We are our biggest haters. Like nobody hates us as much as we hate ourselves sometimes. So I'm like, you know, let me just fuck around and find out. And you know, I'm not striving to be like the best photographer, but like I love what I do, and like I think I have a good purpose, and I think I'm doing okay. You know, so
What do you want to do with it? Is it something that you want to do for your artistic side? I mean, there's always that. Are you trying to, is it to just photograph the projects that you're doing? Like, do you kind of have a idea what you want to do with the photography side of things? Or is it
Yeah.
just strictly learn photography for the sake of learning photography?
no, I have, you know, I have very strict boundaries with
Yep.
my work, and that's something that I've learned in the past few years is just to have like really strict boundaries so that I don't go through burnout. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I am very, very particular. So with my photography, I only photograph pregnant women.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, like I don't do like outdoors. I don't do, you know, weddings, events. I don't do family.
Okay.
So I only photograph pregnant women. And like I do headshots here and there too.
Yeah.
But mostly I only photograph if I did the makeup. You know,
Okay.
because
yeah,
like,
I
'cause
mean,
it's so
you're combining
important.
a bunch
Yeah.
of your skills too. And which makes the photo that much more interesting, right? There's like you didn't just take that photo. Everything
Right.
behind that lens was created by you as well.
Yeah,
which
for
makes
sure.
you very broad in what you deliver.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
it has
which is
to
worth a
like
lot
the
of money.
however whatever the clients want, it has to be what I want to do too.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like I don't do this. I mean, of course, the money is good;
Yep.
it pays the bills, but like I have to like it. I have to like
Yeah.
the theme. I have to like the idea. And usually I do have like everything laid out. You know, I'm not like an extravagant photographer. It's very simple, very minimal, and I'm not for everyone, and that's something that I'm okay with.
Yeah,
like I'm
right.
not for everyone. There's so many amazing photographers out there, but there's not enough simple ones, and
Right.
I want to keep things simple and also just kind of like incorporate what I wish I had when I was pregnant as well. So I only photograph like my style, and then I do like, you know, women headshots, but yeah, because it's like because I don't Photoshop, I need everything, like every element that goes into getting a good photograph, like has to be there, you know. So it's like so if I didn't do the makeup, like a regular person may not understand like the makeup that's necessary to like how you do it so it shows up well in photographs, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you do your own makeup, if I take your pictures, like it's just not going to work out, you know.
Right.
So
And with the market in photography being like so saturated, like it's probably good to be very niche, right?
Yes.
And to just focus on just like one thing. You know, I think you kind of talked about that, right? Kind of being like an auto shop and just specializing in
Yeah, I mean,
detailing versus
it's what like Sophia
doing
said.
everything.
The one thing you said, Sophia, there that I truly that really resonated with me was you're not for everybody, and that took me a while to learn as well. Now there's differences, right? And I was gonna say take notes, Pang,
Yeah,
when she said
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But but it's also because when you start, like you have to get the business off and running,
Yeah.
right? So that I was a lot more general then.
Yeah.
Until everybody really understood who we were and what we did, then our identity really created ourselves, and then we said, well, there's certain work that's just not worth our time.
Right.
No offense to those clients, it's just sometimes not worth our time because that's not what we're trying to project as a company
Yeah.
to the future clients, right?
Yeah.
So when you said that, I'm like, I totally agree with that. But I will say it took me a while to understand that
Yeah.
part. It
Yeah,
took me a
and-
little bit to get that.
And like that's kind of the dynamic of this podcast is like we're both like business owners, and I'm fairly newer, so like I love coming in here and just talking with Tu about his experiences, and then like bringing in people with that's been doing it for some time, and just so I could kind of pick their brains. And that's something that Tu's actually been kind of grilling on me for the past like couple episodes about just being more strict. Because even just the last episode, I talked about how my prices are always
Where
negotiable.
you're so
and my
tight.
prices
Yeah.
are
This ain't the
always
Hmong market,
being low.
bro.
Yeah,
This ain't the
and
Hmong
so,
markets.
I do need to be better
Yeah.
about that, and I do need to set boundaries. But like for me, I'm
gotta
just
get your
still
product
so
out
new.
too. You gotta get
And
your
like
product
I'm
out
just so scared to like, I'm just so scared to lose that sell. Like, did
Yeah.
you experience a lot of that where you're like turning down people, like I guess the fear of like turning down work?
Yeah, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning. Because
I
now
still
you're,
feel that
yeah.
sometimes, you know, especially because like what I do, like it's not exactly like a set price,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because it, you know, it's not like you where it's like you have to, you know, cover everything like products, everything for
yeah.
every job, you know. So sometimes, usually I'm non-negotiable, but it's like. Honestly, it really depends. If I'm
Yeah.
feeling like depressed and anxious that week,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, I kind of need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it depends when
Depends
you
how
get
you
me.
click to. Or I mean, is it true for you? Because I try not to bend my prices too much. But as the business owner of your own company, sometimes you click with somebody real well, or sometimes there's like a benefit other than just the financial value in that exchange, right? So
Right.
sometimes you're like, shit, all right, that's cool. Let's take that car. I mean, I've done some cars for like Viking players where I didn't always take the Viking players'
Right.
money. You know, it was just like,
Just so you
yeah,
could
all
get
right,
a
let's do
photo
this.
op
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of being business owners, right? We're
Yeah.
not fixed at all times.
Yeah, and it's like you just don't know. I mean, you know, of course, like there are some people where I do click with,
Yeah.
and like I do try to not bend. But you know, of course, if you've returned to me many
Right.
times, like, and we became friends,
Yeah.
like, you know, like I do give them like a discounted
Yeah.
rate, because they hire me so much.
pass the word. They help you. They promote you. They like what you do.
Yeah.
They're like they're like your spokesperson. Like,
Yeah,
like a
especially
low-key
ones that
spokesperson.
have like given me a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's always hard. You know, I just feel like I still feel like that sometimes where like I'm scared. But something that I'm still learning is like I always sell myself short, and my husband hates it. He's always like, why do you do that? Like, you know, like you're worth so much more than that.
Yeah.
But I just have really like
It's
I have
probably you, right?
imposter
Your
syndrome.
personality. Yeah.
You know, I feel
yeah.
like I always feel like I suck. I feel like my work sucks.
That's what
like,
makes you good.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're
get that
good, you
too,
feel
though,
like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I've learned to embrace that about myself. Like, yes, there's days when I wake up and I say, yeah, we're fucking killing it compared to what we were and where we are and our reputation out there. But then there's plenty of days where I wake up and I'm like, yeah, we're far from where we actually want to be. Like, there's
Yeah.
people I look up
Yeah.
to that are so much further. But I think it's good, like, for all three of us who are doing our own thing. We need that. Because if we
Yeah.
didn't think like that, then you're already lost.
Right.
You know, how do you get better if you think you're already at the top?
Yeah.
You should always think you're Mamba mentality, right?
And
always
and,
need some
And
more.
I'm glad you said that too, like imposter syndrome, because like there are times where I still feel like, well, like I've only been like I'm not a real beekeeper. You know what I mean? Like
see, to
I've only
us,
been doing it
I
for
think
Yeah,
You're
you're a
amazing.
real beekeeper because there's your bee right there. There's
Yeah.
your honey right there.
right.
I
But
can't
then
do
I've
that.
only got a certain amount of hives. I've only been doing it for so long. If you ask me some questions, I still won't know a lot of the answers to. Like, but that's me being critical of myself, right? Similar to you, like, but at what point can you just call yourself a beekeeper, right? Or at what point are you a legit makeup artist? At what point were you like, all right, I'm
I
the
think
detail guy.
I always feel like an imposter. I mean, I know
Yeah.
that we are where we are, and I believe it, but deep down inside, I always like to keep the imposter mentality because that just makes me want to work a little
Right.
harder.
Right, like
Because if I
it's
thought
not
that I would,
settling.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, not settling. Because I think when you get to that, plus I think if you get to that place where you think you're
Yeah.
the best of all times, then if you have employees like for myself, then that's not easy. That's not as relatable as someone who actually is humble enough to say like I am probably good at where I'm at or what I
Right.
do, but there's levels that we haven't achieved yet, and we still
Yeah.
have to get there. And like same for you, same for me. I'm still learning. You're still learning. It's just a better leadership quality trait, I think, to
Yeah.
just be humble enough and understand that you're not that
Right.
killer at what you do.
Beautiful.
But you are good though.
Yeah.
You are still good, but just don't get lost in that
Right.
that thought, because I think if you get lost in that, then plus it doesn't sell well, man. It doesn't sell well. If you're somebody else listening to somebody talk like that, is that
Right.
respectable? Is that something that a trait that you'd want to support? You know, not
Yeah.
me. I love hearing owners who talk like that, who say like, hey, I still feel like I'm learning, discovering. I don't ever feel like I'm good. Even though to us, when I look at it, I'm like, oh man, that many followers, like that's succeeding to me. So I know you don't, it's weird to hear the compliments all the time, but that's what I think when I see your YouTube, your Instagram, and that's why we love this
Yeah.
podcast, because people like you come here and then we see this and we have our perception, and then you tell us how you feel. And that's where we're like, okay, we all feel like that.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
common, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure. But again, it's like what I was telling my husband about his cornhole. So I was telling him that my husband was playing cornhole last week at my brother's birthday at the park, and my husband plays cornhole like a little more seriously than
Yeah.
than a
No,
regular
let's
person.
let's not be
Oh,
humble. Let's
sorry.
give him a shout out. One of the best players in Minnesota for sure,
Yes, he
right?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan Lee, aka Chief Lee.
what's the name of their team? Do they have a team name, or do
no.
they just go by?
Yeah, because like I think they kind of it's kind of weird. It's like you could team up with anyone
Okay.
anytime, and
Okay.
they also do singles.
Well, kind of like tennis, right? Like if you decide to like play doubles, you can kind of pick anybody. You're not locked into any
Yeah.
team.
Yes. But
I don't know how it works.
But yeah, like
Oh.
he's always really hard on himself. He thinks that he could be better.
Yeah.
But it's like when he was playing last week, he was killing it.
Yeah.
My daughter was being crazy. He was holding her and he was still making the shots. And they're like, this is not fair. And I'm just like, I hope that that's a reminder that like to you, you're just your biggest hater.
Yeah.
But like for us, we don't know anything about cornhole. I would be happy if I even landed on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel right
But
now.
it's like we just have to stop hating ourselves, and I do try to not like I don't make self-deprecating jokes anymore. I do try to speak more highly of myself and like manifest my dreams, and remember that I once prayed for this.
Right.
Like
I love that manifest.
yes,
Yeah.
like
Love
where
that
I'm
word.
at right now, I may not be where I want to be, but like I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, you're far. Shit. I mean, I just hit 10,000 likes on my Facebook for the business. I'm like 10,000, like great.
Dude, are you kidding me?
I mean,
Holy
it's
shit.
I don't know. It's weird. It's a lot of work.
I hit
It
1,000
It's a
and
lot
I was
of
like,
work.
yes.
So okay. So let's go back. You take it seriously about 3-4 years after. And then when you say you took it seriously, what does that mean exactly? Is it you started buying a better camera? You set up a place where you always shoot the same? You start paying attention to what other YouTubers are doing and like kind of using that as like some sort of model for how you're going to set yourself up? Like, what does that mean when you say that you started taking it seriously?
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I always had like, a DSLR, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this now. I'm not gonna just use this other crappy camera because that's what I was familiar with. I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to use the better camera. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have an actual setup now, just not wherever.
Dedicated, right?
And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what the industry is like what works, what doesn't, and I'm gonna, like just brand myself, right? Like think of how I want, to approach brands, and like also just like what I want them to see me as, and just like really build a brand for myself, a name for myself. And so I started posting more consistently, and just like being more involved with the community. Because I think in any industry, that's really important. You want to be friends with people.
The makeup community, right?
Yeah, the makeup community. Just like kind of like not social climb, but like just like just be friends with them, and also just like not even like big people who are doing it big, just like everyone, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like you really do want to build a strong community in whatever community it is.
Yeah.
And like just be okay with like hearing feedback as well, and just like messing around, and it works out, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I mean by taking it seriously, because I feel like YouTube and makeup artistry has always like, they've always worked for each other, you know, because people see my YouTube videos and they're like, okay, I want to hire her. And, you know, I would post makeup, because that was when Instagram came out too. It was in 2011. So, you know, posting, I think that's also what contributed too, because I'm like, okay, I see people posting on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, well, this can help, you know, supplement YouTube and also like, you know, makeup artistry. And so all those three kind of went together. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be more consistent on Instagram, because when I post there, it brings me more clients. So yeah, I guess just mostly being consistent.
And shoot, what's my next question I was gonna ask? Oh, I was gonna ask: were there in the 2011 timeframe, like 10 to 12, were there already a lot of makeup artists doing what you do that you could kind of? I like to always have somebody I can look up to, or at least kind of inspire me to be like, ooh, I could be that. Or was the playing field pretty open where you didn't really have that? I mean, I'm guessing there was makeup artists that you were tuning in to see kind of as examples, right? Where there's
Yeah.
like, who are those big people? Like in 2010, like when you first started.
You know, I don't really know. I guess I wasn't super into like professional makeup artists.
Okay.
So I can't really think of one. I loved just seeing like regular girls like me
Okay.
just do makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I don't even know. 'Cause
Just kind of
honestly,
created your own lane. Yeah.
yeah, honestly, like I would say there was this girl. Her name was Amrizi. She lived in New York, and I just remember like I loved her style of makeup. Yeah, I loved her style of makeup, and I also just like loved her like content, and I still do. But I mean, this is another topic, but like I've had to like unfollow a lot of those things, because
Yeah.
I feel like
Right.
I have really tried to detach myself from like influencer, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel like, you know, a few years ago I like wanted to quit, like for real, for real. I was like, okay, I think I am done. I want to quit all of this, and like, you know, but then TikTok blew up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try one more time. You know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try TikTok. I'm gonna try Reels. That was when I quit YouTube. You know, I quit
Yeah.
YouTube back in like 2020.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like,
Because
right,
your page isn't up anymore, right?
it's still there.
Oh, it's still there.
But I'm
Okay,
no
okay.
longer partner, which I'm like, good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I quit YouTube for sure. And you know, just like COVID, I feel COVID made everyone realize a lot of things, and I
Right.
was just like, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm so tired.
Which part because were they mostly tutorials, or were they just
Yeah, they were mostly tutorials, but I feel like with the way that YouTube was, like they were constantly changing,
Oh,
you know, like
shit.
the
Yeah,
algorithm,
you can't track
their
how
home
it works,
pages,
right?
Yeah.
subscriptions, and like alerts and things like that. I felt like YouTube was just so much work that goes into it, you know, because
Right.
I would film for like 3 hours, but like edit for 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always fall asleep while editing.
Yeah.
And I just was just drained. I'm like, this is no longer fun for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like it required so much work, and to balance out that amount of work, I would have to take sponsorships that would like kind of like, okay, you know, I'll do this. Like the money's worth it. Then
Yeah.
it became a job
Right,
because I was
right.
doing it
Yeah,
for just
yeah,
the
for
money,
for the
and I hated it.
companies.
I hated myself. I was like, that it just made me feel really icky, and
Right.
so I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like this sucks. It's killed my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I hated all of it. So that's why I really quit YouTube, and I just put so much work into my videos, and for no one to watch,
Right.
you know? And it's like, I wanted to do it for myself, but it's like, it's just too much work. And I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do it, you know? And then, yeah, so they rolled out Reels, and I was just like, let me just try this. And I was really good at it, you know? And
Yeah.
I feel like Reels is like, it's like bite sizes, you know? And
Yeah.
it's like the less amount of work. I'll still film for like 3 hours, but when I'm done filming, I'm done working, you know,
Right.
because I film and edit as I go. And so it's like I really enjoyed that, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing YouTube anymore. It requires so much of my time for one video.
So
Right.
now you're doing real. Your focus now is primarily on reels on IG, on Instagram.
Yes,
Okay,
but
reels on there.
Right.
I mean,
TikTok,
even
yeah.
that, I've been going through a rough patch with that too. So like we'll get to that topic later.
Yeah.
But I guess like to build up to like where I'm at now. So yeah, I started doing that, and then my friend like I was like very against TikTok. I'm like, like they're watching us. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the army
Chinese
banned
spies,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
until the army unbans it, I'm not doing it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, no. I was like so against it, but my friend was like, no, you need to do it. You have to do it.
Right.
So I decided to download TikTok, and like I love TikTok now.
Yeah.
I don't really post on there anymore. They definitely are two different things. Like I think on TikTok, I'll post whatever I post on Instagram on TikTok, but like I do try to be like more authentic on TikTok. Like, but then again, it's like I feel like TikTok's kind of crazy.
Does it feel inflated to you on TikTok? Like sometimes the numbers make no sense.
Yes, yeah, because
Yeah, because
like
I look at that sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How did this
TikTok-
video get 4 million views? It's a video of like barely anything, and then
Yeah.
you'll post similar content of like similar quality, and you're like, mine's not jumping like that. So it's like.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes I look at a channel, I look at all their views, and it doesn't make sense because they have a solid amount of followers, but a few videos will have, like, 4 million views, and the rest will have, like, 20,000. You're like, well, that doesn't even correlate together because they should all be closer to, there should be an average
Yeah.
in every
Yes.
video, yeah.
The algorithm between Instagram Reels and TikTok
just seems
Reels are
like it's-
completely
doesn't
different
make
then.
any,
Okay.
I don't know, I can't
TikTok
figure
is
out
more
how
of a
TikTok
lottery.
works.
It has
Yeah.
become like a huge lottery, and like I feel like the thing about TikTok too is like you have to post like literally when they say 3 times a day, it has to be 3 times a day. It doesn't have to be like
Really?
high quality content. Like you
Weird.
could just be
But you
like
gotta
answering
be pumping
questions.
stuff
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like you need to post, and that's how I grew my following on TikTok. But it became too much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is a lottery. And they have admitted that.
Yeah.
It's a lottery. Like you don't know, and it's like you just don't know. And I feel like it was too much of a lottery, and it was just I was like, ugh, when I put content out, I put out good content, and I put a lot of work into it. It's good quality, and if it doesn't reach the right people, like I kind of don't want to do it. If it
Yeah.
doesn't bring me joy, it
Right.
needs to either bring me joy or reach the right people.
Yeah,
And if
Yeah.
it doesn't do either, what am I doing here?
yeah, you're just posting.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
you're
like
just posting.
it just becomes, but it's always the content that I don't care about that blows up.
In general.
yeah.
In general,
in
like
general, yeah.
stuff that I'm just like, I need a post. I'm just gonna post this.
That's
It
true. I've
blows
seen
up.
that too with mine.
I've seen that too. It's just
I've seen
like
stupid
sometimes
posts
when
that
I
we put
phone
in.
it in, I'm just like, random video, random soundbite, and then it does better than
Yeah,
everything
some
else.
of the-
I'm still at like, under anything over 100 views is a win for me. Anything over 100 views for me is a win for me. So, but sometimes like, when I phone it in, like it just,
So let's talk
randomly
about that, like
works
numbers
out.
of views, because you're talking about numbers of views. When did in your process of like doing the makeup stuff, did you start seeing big views? You're like, holy shit, this is like, I might actually have something here.
Yeah, I remember just reaching 100 views and being like so excited. I remember
Yeah.
the day I got 100 subscribers on YouTube. I
Yeah.
was so excited.
yeah.
That's a lot. That's 100 people who
Right.
voluntarily said subscribe. That is
Yes.
a lot.
Was that pretty early on? Or?
Yeah, that was really early on. Like within the first few months, I
Nice.
just remember I was so excited because I was like, okay, I reached 100, so now I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a giveaway. Like
Yeah.
it was so
Yeah.
exciting.
Nice.
And so sometimes like I do feel like I need to stop being so ungrateful.
Yeah.
And just remember how far I've come.
Yeah.
But like even now, like Instagram is constantly changing too, and so I feel like even that has been really hard for me. Like I would like each reel to reach a minimum of 10,000.
Yeah.
Like it needs to reach that within its first week, or else I know it's gonna flop. And it's like that has been what has been happening. It's been so hard. I feel like it's such like a uphill climb to reach even 5,000. I'm just like, what's going on? That's also why I kind of steered away from doing makeup only content, because I did become very niche, and I had like a specific posting schedule. But like around the winter time, Instagram switched up, and I'm just like, okay, what am I doing again? Like, what am I doing here? If if it's not bringing me joy or if it's not reaching the right people, like, why am I here? And so, you know, I've been like working on like redirecting like my thought process and like what I want to post. So it's like I feel like every few months when one of these you know, social media platforms like switch up, I have to switch up too, you know, to
Yeah,
keep
you have to
up.
be very fluid with the changes.
Yes, because Instagram no longer pays, and not that they were like paying well anyways.
Oh,
but
really? They're not. So they were, and now they're not anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
really?
now they rolled out subscriptions, right? Because they're like, well, for me, I'm just like, why would they pay us when we can have our subscribers pay us? You know, so yeah, they no longer do bonuses. Even the bonuses were garbage, and I felt like I used to go viral, right? Like I feel like my reels, I would say at least once a month I would have one hit 1 million
Nice.
every month,
Yeah.
up until I started doing the bonuses. But
Can you explain the bonuses, how those work? Because I don't even know about them.
yeah, so the bonuses was like, so they'll like send you this offer and be like, hey, for this month, you know, if you can reach like this amount of views, like say, I think like if you reach like 2 million views, like all your reels that you post, like, and you add this bonus to the settings, like if you reach like 2 million, you'll get 35,000. But all of a sudden I wasn't reaching the millions ananymore. I used to
It's
bring
like big goals, like, here,
Right.
reach this huge number, but we ain't really gonna help you get there because we don't
Yes.
want to pay you out.
because they
Yeah.
started suppressing
Yeah,
my
we don't
views.
want to pay you
Okay.
out. Yeah.
And that's something that I've noticed, like everyone has said it, you know, and so like, but then I started, okay, there's some videos that like I knew the kind of content that would blow up. So I like when I wouldn't do the bonuses on those ones, they would get better
Right,
views.
right.
So it's just like
It's tough, right? Because we don't know, no idea how they control it. You have
slave work.
zero idea of how it
it's
works.
literally
right?
slave work because
Yeah.
they're like, you know,
They
we're
just want
gonna
you to boost their platform.
yeah, like post and work for us, but like we're really not
Yeah.
gonna pay you. So now that they're
Right.
not paying at all, like I'm just like, oh,
But it's kind of nice because, I mean, when I say nice, I mean it's nice that that you understand and realize that, because now that I'm sure that's put a shift in you to be like, that's not where my money's coming from. So I'm
Right.
gonna put in my work elsewhere with my clients that I actually have real reach with, which are, you know, either local or whether you have to travel and stuff like that. But at least you refocus, shifting your focus to say that IG, I have no control over what they do. So I could be killing it 1 month, and 1 month they just decide, like you said, bonus are out or bonus are here, but you got to hit 2 million views. And now all of a sudden your videos don't hit 2 million views, even though they did.
Yeah.
So
And I
that's
guess
good to
like
know.
you can probably just better focus on your following, right? Instead of making videos to hit those numbers, or for Instagram, you're like, now you can better cater to your audience.
yeah, for sure.
to your
I
audience,
did
yeah.
get to the point too where I'm just like, it gets addicting.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Oh,
go
I
viral,
imagine.
Yeah.
I
and
get
it's like
addicted
you
when I
see
see
those
little
numbers
things.
jump
Yeah.
like drastically because I like doubled my following within like 6
Yeah,
months.
that was my okay. That's a question I have too. When did it drastically jump? Right, because I hear that all the time. I have buddies on YouTube that have big channels too, and they always tell me that it's like, yeah, it just kind of climbs, and one day, boom, it'll just jump like crazy, and then you hit a new plateau, and I'm like, I haven't felt that yet. But like for you, when did it go like just leveled up on you?
It was when I decided to really do like Instagram Reels and TikTok, which was it was like around wintertime, like January to March in 2021.
Like in that short time period, it just
Yeah, because you have to like it. Like the thing about these platforms is you have to give yourself at least 30 days. So you need to post every single day for 30 days straight for you to even gain
To
the
see what
tiniest
happens,
bit of
yeah.
attraction. And if you miss one day, you're gonna start over.
Right.
I remember that too, because you hit me up and you were like, do reels. You need to change everything and just do reels.
Yeah,
And you
like,
were
this was a crazy
You need to make
time.
this a thing. And I was like,
this is 22 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
2021.
about, yeah. And so like you hit me up and I was like, oh shit, I need to, like, it totally changed everything, and it helped a lot. But I think I'm still working, and or like developing like those skills to like tell a story and yada yada everything else. So I appreciated that. But like, how do you keep up with like the ever changing
The
like
landscape always
algorithm,
changing.
right?
Yeah.
Like, because the
Yeah, how do you?
algorithm, like, I just feel like you guys are so on top of things. Like, are they sending you guys secret messages of like,
Are you
how
getting a
the
special
email?
algorithm,
wish.
like,
Special
is
email, like, hey,
changing?
just so you know, Sophia, algorithms are changing this
Yeah,
month.
Because like
Change the way you do
every
things.
time like you hit me up about stuff like that, I'm like, how does
How does
she
she know
this?
that? Yeah, how does she know
Like,
this?
Honestly, that's a good question. I guess it's just because I've been doing this for so
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
that like
You feel the changes.
yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay.
I can see
Wow.
things that like probably you wouldn't see
Yeah.
because you don't see it.
Yeah,
from
when
the
you get a
business
lot of views
aspect.
like that, you would know, right? When you get that many views like that, you would know. Like, what? 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 3,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
and also not
Yeah.
just me as a creator, but like me as a consumer, because like,
Yeah, right,
I'll
right.
be on those
As a
apps.
consumer, yeah.
It consumes a lot of my time,
Yeah.
and so I pay attention to what I see as a consumer and how I see things switch up for me as well,
Yeah.
and I see how, like on TikTok, the algorithm. Oh my god. They are watching me, and at this point, I don't even care. I'm like,
Yeah.
as long as you guys continue to put what I need in front of me, like
Yeah.
watch
Yeah,
me. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
yeah.
And Instagram is becoming like that too, because I swear Instagram, they do be watching, they do be listening.
I
Because,
mean, I do get stuck on reels going like this for about 15
Oh, yeah.
minutes on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
damn, what am I watching? But everything interested, like everything on there,
They don't miss.
It interested
They-
me,
yeah.
right? Even though it's
Yes.
something completely, it's like yesterday I was watching an elephant take down a tree, and I'm like, I didn't search for this, but that's pretty
Freaking
tight.
interesting. Yeah, they
well,
know.
it's like on
They know
TikTok,
what you're
there's
into.
this guy that does like, he cleans up yards.
Yeah, I think I've
Oh
seen that
my
guy.
god, I can't
For
stop
free,
watching
right? He
those
goes to
Yes.
people's
videos.
houses.
I
He's like, I'm
love-
gonna trim your yard.
I can't
yeah,
stop
yeah.
Right,
watching
and it's
those
like
videos.
obviously
It's, like, super
we would
addicting.
never, like it makes me want to go buy all those things,
Yeah.
but I would never.
I wouldn't search
Yeah.
for him, but I
Yeah, I
definitely
would
watch
never.
his videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like honestly, sometimes you just don't know what's gonna pop up, but
Yeah.
it's like, but you like watching it though, and they kind of they do understand, and so you have to think about, you have to like put in your thought process as a consumer, and like you as a creator, and put it together and kind of figure out and pay attention to the patterns and like how things change. And I feel like I'm always analyzing everything, and so I notice. I feel like I'm always noticing things. But yeah, it's like you really do just have to keep up with it. And there are some times where I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I go through
Yeah.
my waves of emotions, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, and I take breaks. But what was I going to say? I totally had a brain fart.
Well,
we
you
start-
talked about
yeah,
your. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
you were
ahead. Sorry,
starting
sorry.
with the idea how it's addicting to get like high views and high numbers, and like let's talk about that, because if we're being honest, even with myself, and I think anybody who does put out content, if you're saying that you don't get excited when you see the numbers change,
Oh, yeah.
you'd be obviously lying, because that excites people. I don't know. It's just they figure it out, right? They're that smart that they know.
Well, yeah,
Well,
there's
and
like
it's
a
like
study.
you put so much
yeah.
work into
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah.
to
So
see
it's
it
like, woo,
pay
yeah,
off, it's like,
yeah.
yes, like I'm doing
Yeah.
something right.
Right. It is the dopamine.
Okay, so
hit.
where's the
Yeah.
downside to that? Where's the downside to that when that happens a lot? And then there's got to be a time. I imagine, right? I just imagine myself. If I have videos that are always constantly clicking views, and then one day it stops hitting, like I feel like it'd be like it almost becomes like it downs you to be like, why is this not working like before? Like, how's that for you? Because I'm sure you got to feel that, right? When it's like hitting,
yeah.
all of a sudden it's not hitting. You're like, whoa, did I suck at what I do now? Or
Yeah. 100%, and it's like, it does suck. And I feel like I hate allowing like
that to affect you
to like
Yeah.
take a toll on me. But
Right.
essentially, this
It
is what
does.
I do for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
job, and I love what I do. And so when it's not paying off, it sucks.
Right.
And it's like, it does not consume my life, but it does suck. It just makes you feel like you failed at your
Yeah.
job, like you failed an
Right,
assignment.
right.
But it's like, okay, but I think the key to that feeling is recognizing it, and like, what can you do?
Yeah.
So I remember because I do remember exactly the last time I went viral was like, I remember, and it was when the bonuses came up, and it was like August of 2021. And so every Halloween for the whole month of October,
Mm-hmm.
I like to post Halloween stuff. So I'll do like, Halloween looks.
Yeah, I've
And-
seen some of your stuff. It's pretty intricate.
Thank
Like,
you.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's like a reminder that I'm also talented. I'm
Yeah,
not just
right. You got
I'm
some
not
skills
just a
there.
pretty
Yeah, you
girl
got some
on
skills
Instagram.
there. Yeah.
It's not just about pretty makeup.
Right.
Like, I just like to remind myself
Yeah.
and others that, hey, I'm talented
Yeah,
too.
it's not just makeup to look pretty. It's also like almost like special effects style.
Yes, like it's art.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I
it's art,
am
yeah.
an artist, not just a
Done
makeup
by
artist.
your. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, usually my Halloween stuff like blows up. It does
Yeah.
well, but not that time, you know,
really?
like, and so it just, it kind of sucked. And it's like my Halloween stuff, I put so much work into it.
Yeah, yeah, that
Those
stuff's
are
crazy.
the-
That stuff's
those were
crazy.
I
the-
love those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My daughter
I was just
loves
telling her
those too.
that.
Yeah.
I saw those. I'm like, those look time consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll film for
Yeah.
6 hours straight
Really?
because like
You got to go
I-
from finish to end, right?
yeah,
You
I
can't
work
just-
on every
yeah.
single detail and like I'll be up until midnight, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm still a mom and I'm still a wife.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just remember like I would be up until like 12, 1 a.m. and then those videos weren't doing as well. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
am I
I
putting
put
in
so
all
much
this
work
work?
in there. It's not
So are
clicking.
you stopping that? Or you?
I'm not gonna do it this year.
Oh, bummer.
Well, okay, I think this
Okay.
year I'm not. I feel like I want to rebel against Instagram and be like, F
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
you guys got me messed up.
Yeah.
So I think this year, I think I don't want to focus on like trying to get the numbers. You know, I
Yeah.
really want to like bring my mind back to like, hey, you're doing this for yourself.
Right.
And so do what makes you happy because you enjoy it, not because it pays the bills or
Yeah.
for the numbers. And so I think this year, I really want to focus on the quality of what I'm doing and the quality of my content. So I think this
Yeah.
year, I'm gonna use like my nicer camera and like just really, I want to be 100% happy with the looks because
Yeah.
honestly, my other Halloween looks, I kind of hated all of them.
Really?
I just
thought
feel like they all
looked pretty-
suck.
I mean, are there parts of you too when sometimes when you're making that stuff, like let's say you commit yourself to the idea, okay, it's Halloween, it's end of October, right?
October. Yeah.
Okay, it's October. We're gonna do makeup, like Halloween style makeup. There's got to be a little bit of a pressure too, or like we do got to release content. So even if it's not like 100% exactly what I'm looking for visually in my mind, I'm still gonna put it out because there's followers that are following me and like expect me to put something out.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's subpar, but shit, just put it out there.
Yeah, it
and
is-
the next one will be better, hopefully. And then
Yes,
yeah,
it's
so
always like
kind
that.
of what you're saying. Where now you want to go back to like I don't feel like I have to.
Yeah, I
That
don't
seems a lot
want to
of
feel
pressure. Yeah,
pressured.
exactly.
Yeah.
You
You
know-
know what
Yeah.
you need? You need to do a Kobe Bryant one.
Kobe Bryant one.
Have you?
I
Do
feel
you
like-
guys see about? Do you guys see like there was like a Chinese makeup artist that did a Kobe Bryant one that became super
Oh, no.
controversial? Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Oh,
that
it-
sounds
oh,
like
okay.
that sounds like blackface.
Yeah, I think
sounds
that
like
was like
potential
that's why it
backlash.
was like that's why it blew up. Because it
Yeah,
was,
and
like,
you know, I
somebody-
always
yeah.
get a lot of requests
Yeah.
and people like suggest like things like that. But I think people don't understand the difference between like a cosplayer
Yeah.
and like a makeup artist.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel
okay.
like that would be like more cosplaying.
Yeah,
But like I want to like go pretty more intense.
and just focus on the
Yeah,
makeup
so this
side.
year, like, I really want to be like I really want to focus on special effects. I really want
Nice.
to like make my own latex, you know,
Nice.
things to add on. Like, have you guys watched The Last of Us?
Yes.
I haven't.
I kind of want to do a clicker. Like, you know how they look like?
Yeah.
I kind of want to, like, it would be fun to do like, you know, their stages. And so I want to do something more intricate like that and like just really test my own skills. But
right.
but I guess it also sucks too because I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I just
Yeah.
kind of wing it. And I feel like that's why I'm never
Yeah, but
happy
you,
with
you,
it.
you probably trust
the
that
best way.
process by now, right? Because you've been doing it so long that you must trust yourself that each time I didn't know what I was doing and I tried it and I learned and I grew and then I tried it again and I didn't know. Like you must be comfortable with that
Yeah.
process by now, right? Because
Yeah.
it's been like
Like
14
I said,
years.
I fuck
Yeah.
around and find
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
like I
exactly.
don't know what I'm doing, but like I think I know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna pretend
Yeah.
like I
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
doing, and it usually works out. And at the end of the day, I'm like the only person that knows is me.
Right.
Exactly.
You guys do
Yeah.
not know.
Exactly. And
So
that
I'm like,
message is so important
It
to be
is. Right.
told because, like I said, I look at your thing. If I never talked to you today and I just looked at your thing, I mean, I would because I have a business. I would probably understand that is the process you've gone through. But let's say I didn't have a business and I just saw it and I saw 50,000 subscribers. Like we all know that how much work it takes, but we never hear it. So we just imagine we think we know, but when we hear it coming out of you saying it, it just puts it into perspective. Like, okay, that is truly just how much work it really does take. Being up till midnight, not being happy, self-judgment, like criticizing yourself, like all those things that you do is why It's a compliment again. I know it still got you to where you are today. But the people just need to hear that, because I need to hear it too. When you say it to me, it reinforces the things that I've felt before, and it motivates me to understand, like, okay, yeah, Sophia, that's what she feels too, and you get to hear it too, right?
Oh yeah,
And
This
so
is
it's
a
like,
win
it
for me. I'm just
inspires.
soaking all this
If another
in.
Hmong person out there is trying to start a business that's much younger than us, that's like 19, 20, and they're listening to you, and maybe they follow you, that's just great for them to hear, like, oh shit, okay, it does take work, because it does take work. Like, there's no
Yeah.
bullshit
Yes.
around that point. Like,
And
you
I think-
can't not work.
Yeah,
You have to believe
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
you're already where you want to be. You know, I feel like not enough people understand like the power of positive thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, as negative as I can be on myself, I have envisioned myself
Yeah.
like with the life that I want.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'll like adjust it as I go through things. But it's like, if you believe that you're that person already, like you've already won, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And like
I
I do
agree.
believe that if you can already envision yourself and you can already believe in yourself that you are where you want to be, or like you will be where you want to be, like it's just crazy how
Did you always have that when you were when you were maybe not a teenager, because teenager our minds are kind of all over the place, but did you always have the ability to kind of visualize where you want it to be? Like, did you put timelines on yourself for like, yeah, when I'm 25, I kind of want to be like this. When I'm 30, I kind of want to be like this. Like, when did you get that power of like envisioning? Because I think envisioning is very important, because like they always say, if you visualize it, you can realize it, but you have to visualize it first. Did you always have something like that in you, where you're visualizing like, okay, when I look at Sophia, when I look at myself in 5 years, I want to at least be here and be here and be here. Like, did you have that? Some
you know,
sort of visualizing?
I feel like I always kind of did, because I've always had a huge imagination.
Yeah, good.
But like, yeah, I guess like the imagining, like honestly, my imagination runs wild. And the way that my mind works, like I have high functioning anxiety, and my mind is like this
Yeah.
all the time. I'm always thinking of something. So I would say like I never thought I'd be where I'm at right now, but I always knew I was going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know, and growing up Hmong, it's
That's
like
awesome. Yeah.
growing up Hmong, like I feel like we were like I think about my thought process when I was younger compared to now. And I think of all the things that I thought I wanted for myself, and compared to now that I'm a full grown adult and I'm healing, I'm just like, man, my parents really had me fucked up. This Hmong culture,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really got me
Yeah,
fucked
it can.
up, because
Yeah. It really does.
I'm just like everything's not adding up. So I feel like I was, you know, when you're Hmong, you're like heavily brainwashed into like this survival mode,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think, and so you know, like I feel like I do love what I do, and like you know, my definition of success, and what I think I'm successful at is I get to do what I love.
Yeah.
So I do like to think that I'm successful in that sense, where like I may not be a doctor,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like my mom wanted.
100%.
Yeah.
I may not have graduated college, but I get
But
to
you
do what I
found your
love.
own lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
found your own lane. And that's what we've had. All of our guests
Yeah.
that we've brought here, like, no, like, not to talk shit about doctors and any of that, or real
Right, 'cause
estate
it's still a
agents,
lot
or
of
like,
work.
or
Yeah.
life insurance agent. Like, don't get me wrong, that we got a bunch of Hmong people doing all those things. But me and Pink always love just finding people who are like super passionate about their thing, and it's a little bit more uncommon, just to show that, like, hey, like, we live in the States, man. You could do makeup, you could
Yeah.
clean cars, you could do
Right,
honey.
yep.
Like, all that shit can work, and you can have a pretty comfortable life as well. You may not be the most balling of all time, but you're probably gonna be still doing just fine. And education is not the only way. And plus, we find our own way to educate, right? We
Yeah.
educate ourselves. Through our passion, we educate ourselves by ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need that formal textbook in front of us. We'll
Yeah.
find the knowledge that we are seeking.
Right. And I feel like we just have to stop comparing ourselves to
That's
others.
true, too.
You know, because
100%.
like growing up, it's like, I mean, even my mom, she's still like,
Yeah, Hmong parents.
the other day she was just like, you know, she sees other people like their kids graduating from college,
Right,
and she's
right.
like, "Oja, kuchi mo ito." I'm like, girl, bye.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And I think another thing with being a business owner is you have to be your biggest you have to be your
Yeah.
biggest cheerleader, because if you're waiting around for your family and your friends to support you, you're gonna be waiting forever, you know. Because I feel like success to everyone is different. And so I feel like to my mom or like to, you know, OGs, it doesn't matter how much money I make.
Yeah.
It's if I do not have a degree,
don't have,
I
that
am not
education.
successful in their eyes.
If they didn't take that picture
Yeah.
with you with your valedictorian and everything,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not posted
Doesn't
on
mean
Facebook,
anything.
it doesn't
Yeah.
mean
And it's
nothing.
like that's still great, you know. I think it's
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
amazing
still
that people
awesome.
like put in the work because it's still a lot of work. It wasn't for me,
Yeah, it's not for you.
but
yeah.
it was for them. And like I think that we have to stop like just comparing ourselves. Like, oh, I wish I could have done that. And it's like
I
you
agree.
can if you wanted to. You know?
I wish I would have realized that a lot earlier. Like, I ended up graduating from college, but I struggled so much through college. Like, I just academically, like, just wasn't there. And so I had such a hard time, but I eventually did it in kind of a bullshit degree, you know, but I did it just to satisfy my parents,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
but
did it
like,
do that?
Huh?
Did it do that?
I don't know. They weren't even there when I walked.
Wow.
Nobody was there. But whatever. It's all good. But you know, and part of it, I did it for myself too. Just
Yeah,
to,
right.
You know,
This is the Utah.
but like I wish I would have realized that earlier because it wasn't until I had a kid and it wasn't until like I was just overwhelmed with work where I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Like
That's not
I've
where you're
never
happy,
really
yeah.
wanted to do this. Like I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's when I was just like, you know, I lost my shit and I moved out to the country and
Yeah.
became a farmer. But like, you know, to be fair to our parents too, like I think they were sold this model of
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, they didn't
For
know
sure.
any better, and then they were just kind of like, all right, yeah, you come here, this is the American dream. You go to school, you make something of yourself. But yeah, they didn't know like you could make money as a
Yeah, I
makeup
mean,
artist.
the idea of like,
Yeah, like we talked
Make a
about that with
YouTube
Pop,
video,
right?
yeah.
Like just like in the arts. Like,
yeah, no, right.
That's such
It's in,
for somebody
it's
that grew
kinda
up in a
unthinkable,
third world
yeah.
country, like so that somebody can make a living doing that.
Yeah.
That's so mind-boggling.
Well, and then
for them.
it's there's a lot of luck in the timelines too, right?
Yeah.
Because we grew up in a stage where there is YouTube, there is IG,
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
those things are there for us. We could use a phone today, and that phone is shooting in 4K.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
30 frames per
It's
second. It's like
accessible.
cinematic already out of your phone. Like, so now it's just a matter of effort in our day and
Yeah.
age. You know, it's effort. Like,
Yeah.
who's willing to put in that effort?
This is the best time to do anything. I always say that. I tell everybody that I meet, like, this is the best time
Yeah.
to start your own thing. This is the best time to find your own.
And you'll suck at the
venture.
beginning,
Yeah, and everybody.
but you got to
does.
keep trying. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I love what you said about just faking it till you making it, right? Fuck around until you find out. And like truly like that's like the story of my life. Like you know, just messing around with this thing and then eventually trying to turn it into something.
Yeah.
Um,
Let,
but,
let me ask you something, Sophia.
yeah.
You have a lot of followers, right? So there must be comments just coming in left and right, boom, boom, boom. How do you deal with the noise now versus how did you deal with the noise maybe at the beginning or the middle? Like, how has that journey for you changed? Because I read comments when it's about the work that I do because every now and then there's a gem in there that does make me get better. But every now and then there's also some dude or somebody shit talking, and for some reason that day that comment just affects me a little more than other days. Where some
Yeah.
days you don't give a shit, some days you're like, "What? Let me tell you what I think about you." You know? So
Yeah.
how have you navigated that through the last 14 years? Like, has it gotten easier? Where have you learned to like block yourself off from the feelings? Because I imagine with that many subscribers, the comments come quickly and they come often, right? The 2 million views, 1 million views. I imagine that is notifications on blast.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who comment dumb things like that are they're really dumb. I'm just like, you know what? I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter if you're saying something positive or negative. You're giving me the interactions I need in order for this
Right.
video to
Right.
grow.
So
I'm
you're
like, you know
giving
what?
me the,
Yeah.
you're
Right.
feeding into the
And
algorithm
it's like,
that helps my video.
don't get me
yeah.
wrong. There are some days where I'm just like, it gets you. But sometimes I'm
Yeah.
just like, especially when I go viral, of course, those like the comments
Yeah, it
come
must
crazy.
flood, yeah.
But I'm just like, I look at it and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, it's okay. This is a projection of them. This
Yeah.
is not me.
Right.
I think just remaining positive and also just understanding that there are just some people out there who are just really dumb and you can't help them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're making my video blow up. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great
That's
way
a
to
good
think
way to look
about
at
that.
it.
Yeah,
It is
because
true.
it's like, so it's like, as much as it, especially if on Facebook, I feel like Facebook has like people who love to voice their opinions. I
Yeah.
feel like Facebook has it the worst.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing because the way that the Facebook homepage works, it'll make your stuff pop up constantly. So I'm like, even though Facebook, I get the worst and the like dumbest comments on there. I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna leave it, unless it's like really weird. Then I'm like, okay, this is really weird, and like I don't want people to start a fight.
Right.
Then I'll delete it. But if it's like something petty, you know, the ones I always get is, oh my God, like so much makeup, wipe it off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll just leave it. Like it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's like essentially you're helping me out and you're helping me grow and
Yeah, you
that's going to get me
contributing to my
paid.
videos, yeah.
So it's like, who's the real
See,
loser
that's the
here?
angle.
Right.
That's the
Wow.
angle when you
Yeah.
start getting all those views. That's an
Yeah.
interesting angle,
Yeah.
right? Because you think about it like that. That's
You have to stay positive, you know, and like that's the only way that you're going to make it.
Do you how do you keep up with engaging? Because I assume, like you said, being part of the community means that you have to engage the people that ask you like when you read them, you can tell what's a genuine question. How have you like filtered that for yourself? Like, oh, okay, I'll reply to these. I won't reply to this. Do I reply to everything? Like, and I'm only talking about the genuine comments, right? Not the dumb stuff that people post. But whenever you get those genuine comments, how do you filter out like, okay, I'll respond to that, or do I respond to everything? Or if I feel like it this week because I'm got the energy, I will. And some weeks I'm just more tired, so sorry, I can't respond to everybody. Like, how do you filter that?
Honestly, in the past few months, my engagement alone has like,
Yeah, just to
Because-
save yourself the energy.
yeah,
You think?
I mean, you know, I feel like I go through waves of depression all the time.
Yeah,
And so I'm just like, I've just gotten to a point too where I'm just like, okay, you know what? I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I just don't want to do
right.
it. You know, like I'm thankful.
Right.
But if anything, I'll go like the comments. But also when I post content, like once I post it, like I don't want anything to do with it
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
So I don't
That's-
want to
that's a
see
good
it again.
rule, yeah.
I don't want to do anything. I want to move on.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes I don't always go back and comment. Sometimes I do, even though
Yeah.
I know that if I do, it really helps out my videos.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
But that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a
Yeah,
lot. That's
that's a
energy
lot
you're
of
giving
work.
out.
yeah, it's a
You
lot of
only have
energy.
Your
so
brain
much.
space is on here, and now your family and stuff you've kind of deleted
Yeah.
for a while because you're like, oh, how do I answer genuinely to this comment that sounds genuine? But I can also imagine that if you did that for all the comments that came through, you don't even know these people. Like,
Yeah, you don't owe them anything.
yeah,
too,
exactly. You don't
you
know
know?
them anything.
Yeah.
You feel sometimes like you probably do, but you don't. You don't. You're using your own energy for text on a screen.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's like I'm very grateful. I'm thankful
Right.
for the people that comment, you know, but like you don't owe me anything. You don't have to comment.
Exactly.
Just like I don't
Exactly.
owe
That's
you
the
anything.
reply,
I don't
yeah.
have to reply when I watch people on social media. I don't have to. I don't owe them anything. Like
Yeah.
we all don't owe anyone
Yeah,
anything.
it's
You
your
should just
screen.
do
It's your
everything.
choice, yeah.
Yeah, you do things because you want to, not because you feel obligated
Yeah.
to.
And speaking of like just like energy and like how to determine like how to give out your energy, you have 4 kids now,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah,
how do you
manage
find
that?
balance between those 4 children and then
And
your
a wife.
social media?
Got to be a wife and
Yeah,
social
and
media
your
and a wife.
husband, yeah, and then just like being a general family, family-oriented person.
Honestly, that's why I'm not okay. That's why when people
Okay.
Yeah,
ask me like,
it's a
"Oh,
lot
how are
of
you
work, yeah.
doing?" People are like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm not okay."
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just really honest. So people are
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what?" And
Yeah.
I'm just like, "That's the real question."
that's
Like,
for
I'm so
sure.
tired
So
of
you're
like
answering
everyone just
honestly.
saying, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good." It's
Yeah.
like, "No, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really?" Like, come on. Like, we're not okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I just say I'm good as a don't talk to me. Like
Right.
as like but
Man, even
yeah.
at Target, when the cashier's like, "How are you today?" I'm like, "I'm tired." Like,
Yeah, that-
or they're
ooh,
like,
I
"They're like,
appreciate
did you
the
find
honesty,
everything?"
yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I did not."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like that's just me though. But yeah, so I feel like it's hard. It's definitely hard, and like I'm still navigating. But I feel like what has really helped me with my 2 older ones is putting them in therapy.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
so you put your children.
yeah. You know, I
awesome.
feel
Yeah.
like I was really scared. You know, I was really scared. I'm like, oh my God, does this make me a bad person? Like, I'm a bad mom. But, you know, now that I've through it, I'm just like, you know, I'm so glad that I did because I think, you know, we are just such a product of our environment and the things like that we were literally brainwashed to think was okay. You know, I feel like from home people, it's like, don't accept help from the
Right,
doctors.
yeah,
Like
yep.
like you don't need
Yep.
therapy. They don't believe in any of that. And I feel like that's why we're kind of fucked up adults now.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want my kids to be like that. And it's like, how do we? So I'm constantly thinking like, how do I break generational curses? And I feel like I have tried my absolute best with parenting my two older ones. You know, I wasn't always the best mom, but I was a good mom. And I feel like they've reached an age now too where I feel like I don't know what to do. I feel like I've reached my max as a parent,
Yeah.
and I need outside help.
And how old are the two oldest?
The oldest is 11, and then the one after that, he's gonna be 9 soon. So yeah, anyways, yeah, I'm just like, I needed to like accept outside help because, you know, I'm in therapy and my husband's in therapy. And I feel like when people hear that, they're like, oh, something's wrong with you. Like you're faulty, like something's wrong, like you're messed up. And it's like, no, we all need someone to talk to and like understand, especially kids who like, you know, of course my kids, they're pretty open with me, but I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know how to read, you know, like I don't know how to approach certain topics. And like, we need to talk about everything. I'm always like, I need to talk to them about things before their dumb friends teach them.
Right.
Because you think about all the things that we learned. So anyways, yeah, so they're in therapy. And I feel like it has really helped me have better communication with them. And like, it is like a group assignment. Like it's all for all of us. And so I feel like that has helped me try to, I'm still, you know, not a perfect mom. I still get frustrated all the time, but like there's definitely progress. And so yeah, then with my two younger ones, you know, they're toddlers.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard. You know, my daughter, she is like the work of 3 kids.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's hard every day. And like I just try my best to you know, stay calm. And like also, you know, I work from home and I stay at home with my kids. So it's like trying to find balance in like, okay, I'm gonna work for a little bit and then hang out with them and whatever. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm beat.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like, it's okay. That's something that I was willing to take on because I chose to do what I do.
Yeah.
And I chose to like, you know, not have someone else take care of them. So I would say like the best way that I have found to like distribute like my time and attention to everything that I do in my life is to do small increments.
Okay.
You know, because it's like I feel like everyone thinks that you have to like go all in, go hard or go home. And it's like, no, we don't have to like fully be this way, but we can do small amounts, you know? So it's like, you know, with each kid, like I feel bad that I had so many kids because I'm like, you know, when I was young, I thought that I wanted a big family. And now that I do, I'm just like, I feel so guilty that I can't give you guys all the
distribute,
time that you
all the
need.
time,
But that's also why I have recruited outside help to help us so that we can all grow and flourish. So, you know, so it's like just doing things in small increments. And so, you know, with like doing social media and like, you know, photography, all those things, I do it in small increments. And then, you know, with being a wife, like I really encouraged my husband to play cornhole.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, this is something you're really good at.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like just trying to change the way we think of like how a household should be.
Right.
You know, it's like just because you know, you're out doing something you love doesn't mean that you're a bad partner. Right. It's because, you know, I think it's really important for us to have things that we do on our own that we love.
You got to stay true to who you still
Yeah.
are, right?
In every like relationship, you need your own autonomy.
Yeah, you need
separate.
exactly. You got to have your.
And it's like I
autonomy.
love my husband.
That's
Like
huge.
we're best friends and we want to do everything together. And I want to be with him all the time, but it's like we need something that makes us feel good.
Yeah,
and you know, for me, I do so many things, and he's always very supportive. But it's like I feel like this is one thing that he's like really good at compared to all of his other hobbies in the past. Like this is something he's really good at, and he's very, very passionate about that I've seen that I feel like can do really well. So it's like just trying to be positive and honestly, at the end of the day, it's all just in our head.
Right.
You know, because he's in the army, and he doesn't leave a lot anymore, but here and there he'll leave for like a month or two, or like even a weekend. You know, he does leave a few times throughout the year, and now that he's playing cornhole, he's gonna leave and go play, and I want him to leave and go play.
Yeah.
So people are always like, oh my God, like, how do you do it? You know, like, how do you like manage all the kids in the house by yourself? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just in your head. It's like, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, don't overthink it. So like, I always tell everyone, like, don't think about it. Like, don't stress about it. Like, worry about it when it happens, or else you have to go through it twice.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, for me, like, I'm not going to stress about something that's going to happen like next month. Like, when the day comes, I'll worry about it then. Cause I'm a worrier. I'm always going to worry. I'll worry about it when the time comes. That's why I was like, I didn't really want to talk about this podcast. I'm like, when I'm there, I'll figure it out. And it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, yeah,
Yeah, we want people to be comfortable.
We really, I mean, I think Ping and I, we have organic sense of being pretty curious too, you know, and so we really just let our guests speak. Like, we just want to, natural curiosity of knowing who you are, what you do, and like, our job here, we're just a medium of navigating the conversation as much as we can.
Yeah. And I think when we talked about this too, we talked about we want to bring on people that we just genuinely want to talk to, and it's just an excuse to have a long form conversation with. It's like I've always like admired you and looked up to like how you as a parent and you on social media. So I was just like, oh, it's just an excuse to talk to her and just pick her brains a little bit. And so similar with Pa, where you had said that was like the longest you've ever had a conversation
she's my
with
wife's
her,
cousin, but I've never actually talked with her for 2 hours straight in front of a table. But,
I wanted to get back into the therapy because you said you were in therapy, your kids are in therapy. I'm just, I'm pretty new to it. I'm probably like 2-3 months in now.
I've
used it a
bunch of times.
And so, like, what made you decide, and what were like those? What made you decide to go into therapy, and then like, what were some of those factors that, I guess, pushed you away from it, or held you back from like seeking out help for so long?
I think I was scared because you know, to be vulnerable is a very scary thing. Now that I've been through it, I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll open up to anyone who's willing to listen at this point. But you know, I feel like I was always really good at like bringing myself back down. Like when my emotions are up here. But of course, it took some traumatic events that I'm just like, okay, you know, I don't want to bring myself down anymore. Like, I need help. I need someone to help me. And I think being able to admit that you need help, you know, I think it's scary. But now that I've done it, I'm just like, I will shout it to the world. I need help. I'm a mess. I have no idea what I'm doing. And so I think just not being afraid to like admit that you need help is key, you know? And it also, I think what also really, really helps is that my husband is also, you know, he's also in therapy too. And, you know, he understands the importance of it. So, you know, he understands the whole psychology side of things. And I feel like, you know, having him do it and having him being supportive of it too, really made me like feel even better about it. So, you know, I feel like I put it off for a really long time because I'm like, okay, I'm okay. Like, I don't think I need help. But now that I've gone through, I'm like, oh my God, can everyone just go?
Like, I think that's the Hmong thing. The Hmong thing
is
is always, I don't need help. I'll figure it out. Even though you see some of the OGs, they're like, have a terrible, right? They're like, can't control their lives, right? And you're like, bro, you need therapy. And they're
Just
like,
talk
no,
to
why
someone.
would,
it is
why
crazy,
would I?
like, that they won't listen to a
That's the
therapist, but then they'll go to like a shaman,
or they listen
go
to
AG
another Hmong
clans or
OG who's
whatever.
got his life twisted as well, right?
Exactly.
It's
Oh,
like
it's
two
so
twisted guys
mind-blowing.
sharing it. Yeah.
That's what we need to do. Like, we need to have our therapists just dress up like shamans and talk to them.
I mean, I
or
think with the
disguise
old
themselves.
generation, it's pretty much like, okay, that's what it is. But like with our generation, the
there's no reason
30s,
why
the
you
early
shouldn't.
40s, we have enough knowledge of by just sheer luck of growing up here to understand that, hey, just like the gym, just like nutrition, just like all those spiritual health, mental health, like those all have to be in balance. And mental health is a huge portion of it, because in America, there's a lot of pressure in America, I feel like, of be successful, do well. Well, add American capitalist pressure with Hmong parent pressure.
Yeah.
You put those two in
exactly.
combination, and you are like,
It's a lot, yeah.
there's a lot there going on. And it's all very deep subconscious, but we've always felt it, and we never realized it till the day we almost break completely. And we're like, okay, yeah, I need to go talk to
Yeah.
somebody now, because my parents' pressure is killing me, and my own drive to be successful is killing me, and like the peer pressure of me feeling like I need to succeed within the Hmong community, like all of those little factors. Your aunts and uncles, hey, are you going to school? Like always, we get that so
Yeah.
much in the Hmong community, which is great. It makes us driven individuals, but it also hurts us.
Yeah.
It has hurt us, which is why I've gone to therapy. It's probably why
Yeah.
you've had your share of therapy. You know, so I'm glad we're talking about therapy.
Yeah,
we always talk
and then,
about
like,
it here.
You have your kids in therapy, which is
Yeah, that's
even
cool too.
like
Yeah.
that's awesome.
You know, like, you know how we were so scared about
Yeah.
therapy, right? And it's like when you first went to therapy, like, did you want to tell people that you were in therapy? Like, it's just kind of scary because I
Yeah.
feel like you kind of don't want to talk about it yet because you're like, oh shit, like there's something wrong with me. I don't
Yeah,
want
they
people
think
to
you might be
something wrong with
crazy.
me.
Like, oh, you
It's
take
like, I'm not
therapy? Oh,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like my boys, they'll talk about therapy. They'll have
Yeah.
conversations
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
and I just see them having like normal conversations. Like, oh yeah, because I'll write on the calendar and they'll be like, oh, my therapy's coming up. Oh, last time in therapy, like last week, I was
Yeah.
talking about this, and I'm just like, oh my god, like we were so fucked up. Like
Yeah.
our parents, like the culture of the community, they made us think that like there was something wrong with us if
Yeah.
we wanted to
Right.
like ask
Go see
for
a doctor.
help.
Go see the old white guy for assistance when you
Yeah.
could just have your uncle tell you, like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
wrong. I need that old white
Yeah.
dude or that
Yes.
old Hmong lady therapist.
Yeah.
I need her, not Uncle B over here. who
Yeah,
don't know
Yes.
nothing.
exactly. Well, like just being like an adult and meeting like a lot of other people from different backgrounds, is you realize like there are so many people that grew up with therapy, and then like it's almost like a cheat code. You can almost tell who
Yes.
had it and who didn't.
Yes.
Like there's people
Yeah.
that just got things like figured out,
Yeah.
and you when you start talking to them, you realize they've been doing this since they were kids.
Yes,
and
a
they've
cheat
been-
code. That is
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
But I love that you're just taking your kids to it, because to them it's just they're just growing up, right? They're just
Yeah,
kids
it's just
growing
like a
up.
regular thing.
But because you've introduced that portion of mental health into their life at an early stage, whether or not they choose to follow that, they'll always respect that it's not a foreign concept.
Yeah,
You know,
they're not gonna
Yes.
grow up with this
It's not-
stigma.
Yes.
that
yeah,
it's
it's
like
not a
bad
foreign
thing.
concept.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just something that we've done, and it's like no different than when I went and got my blood work or when I get my blood pressure
Exactly.
checked. I
It's
also
like we
got my
go-
mental health checked, which is
Yeah.
more important than anything, because your
Yeah.
mental health usually leads to everything, how you feel about yourself, your
Yes.
self confidence. So,
It's
yeah,
like we
that's
go
great.
in for physicals every year. Like,
Yeah.
why not
Check our mental,
check
yeah.
up once a year? You know.
Yeah.
Like I had to break up with my therapist though, so like I am in the process.
Yeah.
But it's like I think people need to understand that too. Is like going to a therapist. Like all my friends have said that it's like dating.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you have to find the one that fits you,
Right,
and it's like,
yeah.
but you have to know when to leave too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was really hard for me because I'm like, I don't want to reopen
from
wounds.
scratch,
Yeah.
I don't want to reopen wounds. I don't want to like touch on these topics again. Like it's
Yeah.
hard. It's scary. And so like I feel like I have been putting off finding a new therapist because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's so hard. And it's like, I don't know. It's like I go back and forth between getting like a Hmong therapist who like gets it, but also like I'm just like I want someone who 100% won't know me because I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
It's a
don't
small
want anyone that
community.
yeah I'm just like I don't want someone that doesn't know me, doesn't know my parents, doesn't know my family, anything
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's a constant going back and forth. But and also I think what's also important for going to therapy is the people around you also have to understand.
Yes.
You know.
Yep,
Because
absolutely.
if your family is also toxic and they don't believe in it,
Yeah.
like you're gonna feel really shameful when you go to
Yeah.
therapy. But you know, like I mean, I don't care about the opinions of my family, and they don't really care about anything. But it's like my friends, my friends,
Yeah.
they've all been to therapy. I was the last one to go to therapy, so it's like I feel like all of them have done it and like speak very highly of it has also
Yeah.
like just contributed to like me not being scared.
Yeah.
And so it's like you really have to be careful who you surround yourself with.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's really important in all aspects of your life. But like everyone around me, I feel like every time I have a makeup client, I always bring up therapy.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm always like, hey, with the makeup session, you also get a free therapy session. Because like I analyze everyone, like it's one of my toxic traits, and like I really tried not to, but I've never been wrong once. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, I always talk to everyone. I'm just like, you know, because I'm like, if you're a mom and you have your own career, you have kids and you're a wife, I know you need to go there. I know already. Like that is a recipe for disaster right there. So it's like, I know you need to go to therapy. And it's like, they're always scared. You know, it's always like, oh, I think I've always been okay. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I thought I was too.
Yeah. And it's always the most messed up.
But
we've
we've also said that even like when we've had our conversations about mental health, we've talked about as well as like even when you do feel okay, it's kind of where I'm at right now. I haven't gone for like 2-3 years. Ever since I left firefighting, I don't see all the gory stuff. I don't see none of the crazy stuff anymore. So my mental health has kind of gotten calmer and just, I mean, stressful from the business, but I'm not seeing traumatic things in life anymore. But even so, we've talked about in the past that even if you're doing well, you feel like you're doing well, like it's like a checkup. You should still go get. You still should go still talk to the therapist just to see where you're at. Yeah, just to see where you're at in your head. You know,
it's just like physical health, right? Where we talked about in the past, like just because you're in shape doesn't mean you stop working out.
Yeah.
Right. Or it doesn't mean you stop being active. So, yeah, I think that's so cool. Like I think it's one thing to talk about ourselves as adults, like going into therapy, but then to have your kids going into therapy, like that's so next level. Like that hasn't even crossed my mind yet.
Yeah.
And of course, my kids aren't old enough.
I mean, even my Alistair, like I put him in speech therapy, and I remember when I was gonna put him in speech therapy, I needed my mother-in-law to babysit my daughter, and like I was so scared to tell her because I'm just like, you know, even speech therapy, right? Yeah. It's like any kind of therapy, but even speech therapy, I'm just like, oh, I didn't want to tell her because then she was going to be like, oh, he doesn't need it. He's just a baby.
Right.
You know, it's like any
thing
kind of
say.
therapy, they're just like, you don't need it. And I'm like, okay, even if he doesn't need it, like if I have access to this, why would I deprive my child of this?
Right.
And it has helped tremendously,
Yeah.
you know, because all of my kids, you know, they have a baby talk. They talk like a baby. And like, it was really hard for them to understand. And like I saw the toll that it took on one of my sons, and I'm just like, okay, how can I prevent this from continuing on? So I'm like, okay, speech therapy. And yeah, it's like, I feel like even that, it's like we're so scared to like accept any kind of help.
Yeah.
And when you hear the word therapy, you just automatically think something's wrong. And it's like, there was nothing wrong. I just wanted to help him learn how to speak better.
Right.
You know, and it's like, it was a learning lesson for me too. Cause I'm like, I never realized like, I was the problem. I was the reason why, because I kept baby talking.
Yeah.
And it's like, it helps you realize. I feel like therapy for my kids have helped me learn how to be a better mom, you know, because I'm also there too. You know, sometimes I'm there for like my sons, like, you know, when they talk to their therapist, but it's like for speech therapy, I was there and like they taught me how I can help at home. And I think, like therapy has helped in so many ways.
Wow, I'm like taking all that in right now. Like I just like had an epiphany as you're saying
like,
that.
You just never think of it, right?
Yeah. I think we haven't had of all the guests that we've had here. Have we had well, you're definitely unique. Because, I mean, unique in the sense that you have a business that's kind of like you're your own business owner. You're doing multiple things. You have a few kids. All those things in combination, being a Hmong woman. Because Pa doesn't have kids, and I don't think we had another Hmong woman, have we? Oh,
no,
we've had,
no, I think you're our second. Yeah.
So you bring a different angle, is all I'm saying. You bring a different angle, and you speaking about therapy is, we don't know who listens to this. It might be nobody. We always say this. It could be nobody. It could be, but we are just want to, like, if someday one person that cannot relate to me or relate to him, maybe they relate to you and they can see like, okay, a person who seems very successful and is successful also has all these struggles. And that's why we the very first original reason we started this podcast was to talk about stuff like this, where like you can seem strong on the outside, but it's okay to talk about the stuff that is your weaknesses and and like what doesn't make you as strong. Doesn't mean that you're not a strong person, but if you don't talk, you know, it doesn't mean you're a strong person, but you're a human being.
Yes.
You're a human being going through a human experience, suffering like a human naturally does. And we don't have to be these tough Hmong men or tough Hmong women or successful Hmong men. Therefore, I don't talk about feelings. Like,
Yes.
don't need that.
Oh my God, you guys would love my husband.
Yeah. So that's the
You
other
would
thing.
love my
You gotta
husband.
bring him on
Yeah.
too now, right?
You know, I feel like, he's not like toxic masculine where
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, I don't talk about feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
He is very soft with, with me and with
Yeah.
my kids. And, I think him being soft with me obviously models, good.
Yeah, for the
for
for the
the
boys,
kids,
boys,
like so
Yeah.
that they can see like it's okay,
Okay,
to
yeah.
be soft. And he's like very affectionate with the boys, and my boys are very, very sensitive, very, very affectionate. And it's like that's okay. Like if you don't, if you're not that kind of person, that's okay. But if you are, it's okay to like just be in your feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, hey, if this podcast can help one person,
Yeah.
if it can make
Right.
help
Yeah.
resonate with one person, like we have done our job.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
One more question. Sorry, I'm echoing. But
Are you?
yeah, am I echoing on your headphones? Anyways, you're an awesome mother, awesome family person. How much of that do you choose to convey on your social media? And then have you and Alan ever had those conversations about how much stuff, like how much content revolving around your children do you guys want to put on? Because like that's
Sounds like
that's
a conversation that you
yeah,
must have with your
me
wife.
and my wife
huh?
are constantly having those discussions. And like as we're still very small, but as we get bigger, like
Right.
we're starting to post a little bit less, and we're constantly
What do I
having that
share?
conversation. So like, what are your rules around some of that? I noticed like you only post videos of your kids like on your personal page. Like, do you guys have set rules? And then I guess how are those conversations like?
I always tell Alan, like, let me screen whatever you're gonna post. Let me screen
Okay.
it first.
Okay.
But obviously he doesn't listen to me. But like
Yeah.
after he posts it, I'll text him like, you better delete this right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I feel like
that's the same way. I don't. Yeah, I'm
Like-
supposed to run things through my wife, but I don't.
yeah,
know.
I feel like I'm pretty open with my life, but I am still very, very private.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have achieved that because I am so particular about what I post. Like you don't know who my best friend is. You know who my husband and my kids are, but like that's it.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like the world is just, it's so scary. And because I do this for a job and like I see everything that goes on behind the scenes, and that's just like social media aspect. That's not even talking about the weirdos that are on the internet, So it's like I'm just so particular about what I post. I mean, I've had to stop posting my older sons completely because it's like the other day, my son was like, he was like, yeah, we were learning about Hmong at school. The teacher put on Hmong stuff. And there's 2 Hmong people in our class, me and this other person. I was like, oh, what's their name? And he told me the name and he's like, oh, I think you might know her mom. Her mom says she knows who you are. And I'm just like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, it's just because this is what I have agreed to do for a living. Like I have to consider like my
How it
family,
affects.
and it's like, it's scary, it's like, it's scary to like, I don't want people to know where my kids go to school,
Yeah.
but it's like, they see my kids and if they ever see me at an event, it's like, they know, and it's like, even though I've never encountered anyone weird, it's like, I just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't post my older boys anymore. I only post my younger 2, but like even then, like I've kind of tried to like not do that as much, but like my daughter is just she's such a diva. I feel like
I know,
She
right?
likes
There's
it.
just so much like
And
fun
Alistair-
videos that I want to share.
Alistair is so funny. He's such a character. And like, I really want, cause the way that he eats, I'm like, bro, if we did like mukbang,
Yeah.
oh my God, like it's just, I know that like people would love him. He's so funny and he's so silly, but it's just like, all of that. And like, what's the real cost of that?
Right.
Cause like, that's also
Right.
why I pulled back from, his little cooking videos too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because like they were really fun and he's so cute, but I'm just like every time you post something, you have to like have like be like, okay, this has the potential to go viral. Like we just never know what's gonna go viral. And it's like my son could go viral and he could blow up.
Right.
And it's like then I feel like me and my husband, I feel like we always like get into a debate about this, but he wants them. He wants me to like create videos for them because he thinks that, you know, it would be a good way to start like, you know, just because it is good money.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is
like,
good.
he's like, you know, how do you, he's like, you think that Kylie Jenner's daughter, she knows how to talk that well because her mom taught her?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they have the money to, you know, hire private people to come over. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's great. But like at what cost?
Yeah. Is it was it my kid's choice? And will my kid think what I think when my kid reaches 20 and says, yo, why'd you do that to me when I was 10? Because maybe your kid wants to be way more private than you,
Exactly.
right? Your kid's like, I didn't want to be what you wanted to be, dude. Why'd you do that to me?
Exactly.
Maybe it's like a guy thing because I kind of line up with Alan too, because I'm kind of like, well, this is kind of the reality of their world moving forward.
It is.
We kind of have to teach them these skills, like how to navigate the
social
like
media
online
platform, the world.
space,
Yes, for sure.
But then again, it's also like, oh, my daughter's 4, like she doesn't really need it. But then I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, I go back and forth all the time, you know, because I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I am preparing them for the future. And, you know, because I do think that it's going to grow even more by the time that they're our age, you know? So it's like, I go back and forth all the time. But at the end of the day, I want it to be their choice, you know? And I don't want them to like be forced into this lifestyle, you know, against their own will. And it's like, I feel like I would be stealing a chance at a normal life for them. And Alan's like, well, what's a normal life?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I feel like a normal life is like being able to like make friends wherever.
Make your own path. Like, what do we resent most? Like, I'll say for myself, what I resent most from my parents, and I love my parents. I'm just using this one word because there's some things that we didn't like, and it was being what they want us to be.
Yes.
That is one part of like being a monk son that although motivates me today, the reason why I'm driven today, I always say is because my parents wanted me to be a certain way. But it was also as a kid a resentful feeling of like, that's not what I want. Why you keep telling me what to do? You know, I'm not saying that that's better or worse, but that's just how it felt to me. So it kind of goes back to what you were saying where like, you don't really want to force it on them either, right? Like it's not your
right.
Or maybe we're just too nice. I don't know.
Right, but it's also like, I guess, giving it a try and just seeing if they like it, you know, because I have put like my kids in, you know, like they've done taekwondo, they've done piano, they've done a lot of extracurricular things. And I kind of pushed those things on them when they were younger. But like once they told me they didn't want to do it anymore, I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But like, we got to keep doing this until we find something that we like.
Yeah.
And so like I put my son in fencing and one of them likes it and the other one doesn't. So it's like, okay, see, like this, like we're getting somewhere. So it's like, okay, if you want it, I will put you in it. But like, I'm not going to keep wasting money.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do, I'm not going to force you to. And like, I also recently put them in like K-pop dance class. And I was like, you guys love dancing, you guys love music, and you guys have been into K-pop. Like, let's try this. Like, I want someone to teach you how to dance because I don't know how to dance. I want you guys to have the advantage. They hated it. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm glad that we tried. I'm like, you know, midway through, they're like, can we stop? And I'm like, no, I already paid. But I'm just like, for the last few weeks, like, please just put in your all. You know? So it's like, I think it's like we don't want to feel like we're forcing it on them, but it's like how will you know? How will you know if you don't try?
They're not gonna do it, right? They're gonna sit in front of the tablet if you never took them to go do things. They're kids. They're not
it's just
gonna.
like us too. It's like we don't try it. How will we know?
There's a balance where you have to kind of teach them to follow through
push
something,
them into something,
but also be okay with them not wanting to do stuff,
and it's like if you kind of suck at first, it's okay. But see, again, like these are things that you have to teach at a young age so that you're not an adult going through
trial, error, failure.
Yeah, because you know, I feel like one of the things that I do get, I'm told a lot is that I'm so talented, and I am talented, but like I think that we are all so capable of so much. Like all of us are talented. The only difference with me is I'm more willing because I have tried so many things and I know that I won't mess up.
Talented, but how many hours did you invest if you could even put, I'm not saying give it a number, but 15, when did you start messing with makeup?
I started when
like 15, 16?
Yeah, like around that age.
So we're talking, 15 plus years of thinking about this one subject.
I mean, not even that, because like I started sewing, and like people have they're like, oh my God, like you're so talented. And I'm like, okay, I kind of suck,
You-
but you know what? I'm not gonna downplay myself because
Yeah, yeah.
I am talented.
Yeah.
Like I am gonna toot my
Right,
horn.
right,
Like I
right.
am talented,
Yeah.
but it's not by luck.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talented
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's
by
100.
work.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
By
why I guess
hours.
I am gonna I am gonna believe in myself because
Yeah.
one, I believe in myself,
Yeah.
and it's not you have to not think of it as being conceited. Like I am very talented,
Yeah.
but why am I talented? It's because I've put in the work
Right.
and
Yeah.
I've just tried.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like
I feel that way too. Like, yeah, it's something you like. I'm careful to not put out a lot, but I do have like this weird, crazy self belief in myself. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I
dude,
can
you
do
used
this,
to
I'm
walk
gonna
around
do
on
this.
stage with a thong on as a
Yeah, I
bodybuilder.
mean, yeah,
So
you know, so
clearly,
you kind of
clearly
have
you're
to, yeah,
comfortable
you kind
and
of have to
believe
have
in
some
yourself.
confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
you believe in
But
yourself.
I get that so much because like, yeah, like I tell people all the time, it's like not like I'm any different than anyone else.
No.
It's like
yeah.
I'm just kind of
Just work
willing
ethic,
to put
right?
myself out there
Yes.
and to try something. And a lot of things I try, I fell,
Yeah.
but you know, you never know until you do it. And
Yes.
no one's born like good at something.
Yeah.
Everybody has to kind of suck at some point before they get better.
Yes. I think it's just having the will. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I just am willing to try and I'm willing to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like failing, and like I honestly don't like to try things if I know I will fail. That's why I
Yeah.
don't play cornhole.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, I think if I tried cornhole, yeah, honestly, I think I could be really
if
good
you threw
at
the
it.
bag 10,000 times, I guarantee you'd
Yeah.
be pretty good.
And
Like,
you've got a pretty
but
good
it's like-
teacher at home too.
Yeah,
so pretty
exactly.
good.
And like if I really wanted to, I could. And
Yeah.
that's with anything. If
Yeah.
you really wanted to do something, you could.
Yeah.
And you know, everything that I kind of do, it's like I am a very artistic person. So everything that I do that has to do with like creating art, I feel like I know I'm gonna do. That's why I don't play cornhole, because I'm like, that's not creating art. And
Yeah.
like I know I will fail. But like anything artistic related,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I can't draw, I can't paint, but I know that if I tried, I could.
Yeah.
You know? And so like everything that I do, like because like I have this thing every time I go through a depressive episode, and what helps me get out of that depressive episode is to pick up a new skill. So for my latest one, I picked up sewing.
Yeah.
And you know, it's really helped me. It's a reminder that like I am so much more than my emotions and what goes on in my head, you know? And so yeah, I feel like I think I believe in myself so much that I can do anything
Yeah.
that I want to do.
Right.
And that's the only difference between me and you. You know, anyone
Yeah.
who thinks that they suck at anything, it's like, but did you really try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you
Yeah.
really want to do it? Because if you really wanted to, you will like find any way possible to make it happen.
You'll find the solutions wherever they lie, right? Even if you got
Yes.
to travel to California because that's where the next teacher is at, you'll do it. You won't even think. You'll just be like, I got to get better. Where do I go? That's where I go. That's what I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I really
Deep
want
desire, yeah.
I really want to like, you know, help my kids get a head start with that, you know? It's like I don't want them to be like me. I want them to be better than me.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I have to like keep trying to like make them do different things and like seeing what works out, you know? And like it's okay if it doesn't work out, but like just try.
Try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have sewing, I think like designing.
Yeah. What's the
Like,
all the
make-
where
yeah,
what else
what
can
are all
people
these-
buy
yeah.
from you, or what are your services so that people at least know? We always try. You know, it's not. We are all entrepreneurs, so we do always try to boost it at least a little bit. Like, hey, who are you? What do you do? Like, I know we've talked a lot
Yeah.
here, but we haven't addressed actually like what are
Yeah.
all the things that you provide.
I feel like I kind of do a lot of things, but like what I would want to push the most is I guess follow me on Instagram. Just
Yeah.
kidding. Follow me only if you want to.
What is it? Yeah,
No,
in your
follow.
handle? No, follow.
Only if you
Yeah,
want
if
follow
you need
her.
some
Follow
inspiration,
her.
if you ain't doing nothing with your life, follow her.
Only if you want to. No pressure, but it's at Sophia Thao. But you know, I feel like I have also had like I have like very strict boundaries with all the work that I do. You know, I only do what I want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You know, and so I do a lot of things. So, you know, social media, I do Instagram, and I do makeup artistry. I also style hair as well. And then I do photography. I recently am starting to manage social media. So it's like
Nice.
if you need a social media manager, well, it's only if I want to do it.
Yeah.
But you know, like
Yeah.
that's something that I've been wanting to, because I feel like, you know, as I get older and like I know that social media is not always going to be there. Well, Instagram isn't always like that job for me. There isn't always going to be there. And like, as I grow, I have to grow apart. And so I really want to shift into taking everything that I have learned, like taking my knowledge and like putting it into someone else's business, you know, because I feel like I've also reached a point in my career where I don't want to do this anymore. I want to help someone else grow because I feel like I have found like not like the secret formula, but like I found what works and like how we can approach this. And I know how to analyze things and see things from a perspective. And I've been at the highest highs and the lowest lows on social media.
Yeah.
And like I can really help. I do think I have the potential to really help people grow. And so far I have been, you know, I've helped a few businesses grow and
Well, you've helped me a ton. And I don't know
and I
if
wish
I've
I could
ever,
have more.
yeah, like I don't know if I have ever officially thanked you, but like you've always been like you were an instrumental like part in like the growth of my thing. Like, and it's still small and we're still growing, of course, but I like every step along the way, like you've helped me. So I've appreciated that so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you,
know,
officially, like
thank
in
you
person,
for,
live in person. So
thank
I
you for,
appreciate that.
you know, even listening. Because it's like my biggest thing is I want us, like anytime I bump into someone that we went to high school with,
Yeah.
I'm like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Like literally, how can I help you? I love,
It's genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
What can I do to
'cause,
make
like,
your life
all of
better?
us, I want us all to like come out of the hood and
Yeah.
make it. You know, it's like we all went to, you know, ghetto school, and it's like it doesn't
was
like
all right, yeah,
it was
yeah,
okay,
it was all
but you know, it's like we don't
Yeah.
like that doesn't have to be our lives,
Right,
And it's like
yeah.
we are given a chance to make a difference in our lives and our kids, and it's like if you even have a thought of wanting to do more,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're comfortable and like you're not interested, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you just even have a sliver of hope and wanting to do more, like we can totally do it, you know?
Yeah.
But so far, you're the only one that has been, like, you've accepted my help. Because I feel like I have, like, extended my arms.
Oh.
And I'm at a point where, okay, I'm no longer extending my arms. Like, if you guys don't want help, I'm not going to extend.
Well, I appreciate it because like even in bodybuilding, like, I think you've said a bunch of nice stuff and like a bunch of things that I've been into. Like you've always been like super helpful, and so yeah, and I know I've been through like enough stuff where I know where I need help. I know where my strengths lie, and
Yes.
social media is definitely one of those things where I can use a lot of help. So
Yeah.
I
and
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, of course. I feel like it's more rewarding for me to help someone else's business grow. You know, like I'm just so tired of being in the front. Like I want to be in the back. You know,
I
that's
think if you can be in a community where you help others, they thrive, you thrive,
Yeah.
they thrive, and then your whole circle is just people, a bunch of people thriving.
Right.
That toxic energy of positivity is like, if I could lay in that room full of just toxic positivity of people supporting each other, that is the best circle to
Yep.
be in, just for your mental health. Because if negativity is, it's going to be out there, and if you allow it to take too much of your brain power, then you're the one that suffers at the end of the
Right.
day, and no one lives inside your brain except you. So, you know, sometimes it forces us to shove some people away. I've shoved some people away in my life that I feel like I absolutely value them as friends, but that energy's
Yes.
I'm good.
That's what I need to
as I
do,
get
man.
older, I'm
I need
just
to
like
just
I don't
start
have
cutting
time for that.
people
And it's not
off.
personal.
You all hear that? I'm cutting y'all
Yeah.
off. It's
It ain't per-
over.
I mean,
Just ghost.
it's not personal, but it is personal. It's
Yeah.
like for me to be my best self, I cannot be around that as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
so,
100% true.
just what it is.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
what it
for
is.
sure. I think that's also key into like my success is like I've had to cut people out who were
doubted
like,
you, yeah.
they were. I think about it and I'm like, yeah, y'all were really the ops. Like you guys
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not believe in me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you thought I was like. It wasn't like I thought I was better than you, but it's like I thought we
Yeah.
were friends. Like
Right.
I wanted what was best for you. I thought you wanted the same, and
Yeah.
it's like
Nope.
no, that's not. It just wasn't always the case. Or it's like, you know, they have a mindset of like not interested in evolving, and it's like
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
that's fine,
Yeah.
but you could stay here.
Don't
like
drag me with you. Yeah.
I'm gonna go, but like
Right.
I don't think I'm better than you, but like
Right.
I don't want to
It's
be
your
here.
personal quest. Your
Yeah.
quest wants
Yeah.
to do more. And
It's like I just I feel like I'm always wanting more, and it's like it's
But
okay.
Yeah.
But you've drawn, so by you knowing that you're like that, I only assume it's only drawn people who are kind of like that to you as well, right?
Yes.
The circle becomes how you
Even
are,
my
right?
clients,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
okay, I hate working Okay, like I don't care what they say. If you love what you
Yeah,
do, you
work
never
is
work.
work
Yeah.
is work, man.
I hate work. Nobody wants to go to
Yeah,
work.
work is work.
And so I always dread going into work and doing makeup, but then, or like, you know, any kind of work. But it's like once I'm there, like, oh my God, I love
The
every single
energy you
person that
meet,
comes.
yeah.
You know, it's like, I think I have done this for a long period of time that I attract the right clients, I attract the right people into my life. And I have like manifested that, you know, it's like, I still feel like there are some people that I'm just like, why are you here? But for the most part,
Yeah.
it's like I love everyone that I have met.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah, I think we're at an hour and 45. So
Yeah, that's
we'll probably
awesome, yeah.
we'll probably wrap it up here, but I'll speak first and you can
Go
But
ahead.
Sophia, I haven't met you before. I've seen your stuff online. I heard that you did my wife's sister's work, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of her and like heard all these great things. And I've always just looked at your social media. I'm like, that's fucking like killing it. And so I've always been super curious when Peng told me like, yeah, we can get Sophia on. I can talk to her. We went to school together. I was like, yeah, let's meet her. And I learned a lot in this conversation. So I always selfishly, and Peng knows, I selfishly do these podcasts because I'm curious. I want to know people that interest me, that push themselves hard, because there's also always something that I can learn in that conversation. So selfishly, I want to hear these stories to learn. I also like to hear where we have commonalities and where we see things different, because maybe the things that you see different are the things that I need to incorporate into my own personal life. So there's a lot of selfish things in that, but ultimately it's just grateful that you gave us the time of the day to come on the podcast that literally has like very little views,
Yeah.
but you gave us the time of the day to share your stories, and you allowed yourself to be very open with us and very transparent, and that's killer.
Yeah, I mean, thank you.
I'm
Thank you
happy for
for asking me. I just feel like like I sometimes I feel like I have nothing to contribute, but
No, I think what you said today was beautiful, and like it's something like I almost wonder like how come like a lot of this stuff isn't like you don't make content behind some of this
I
stuff because
know. I know.
like the kids, the family, like just
You would need another
your
Instagram
journey
for that. That's a different.
is
Yeah.
so like it's so amazing and it's so inspirational, and so yeah, I love you for coming out and just doing this for us because
Yeah.
yeah, we're nobodies.
Yeah,
We got like
exactly.
we had 10 views on the last episode.
I mean, I think
So thank you. I
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, and everything else that you do, you're you know you're a source of inspiration for both me and Barbara, and so so thank you.
yeah, thank you, and you're welcome. I'm so happy to be here. But I feel like the reason why I never sometimes I do wish that I could like share more of my knowledge. You know, like I love my name. My name means wisdom, and I do think now that I'm full grown adult, I'm like, yeah, I am very wise, and like I wish I could share more of my wisdom and knowledge, like with the world and like on social media, but all of that does come at a price.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
like it's just not a price that I'm willing to pay.
Yep.
I love
But
that.
yeah, and it's like it's great, and I really want to help people, but like I also prefer more intimate settings. You know, like I love one-on-one. So it's like my clients, they get to experience
Right.
this side of me. They get to know me. They get to know
Yeah.
me as a person. You know, they get a little therapy session, you know, in it. And yeah, you know, it's like I also am very protective of my energy. You know, I don't want to just allow anyone to get into it. That's why I don't really post it, or I only post it like on Instagram stories, but you know, that's not as big as like my main platform. But I am very protective of my energy. I don't want anyone's opinions to like fog my own judgment. So that's why I don't post it. But you know, if you ever meet me and if you ever get to talk to me, I love deep, meaningful conversations. I hate small talk. You know, I love having deep conversations with people because I feel like we have so many conversations that we need to have, and conversations that you probably have never like thought of, like therapy.
Right.
You know, for your kids, all the kinds of therapy.
These are our low key therapy sessions from me and Peng.
Yeah,
Every time
yeah.
we like, get
I
stuff.
love like I
They're
love
like
my
the
time with
podcast is
you.
low key like
Yeah.
therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Sophia.
you.
We'll wrap it up here. Till next time, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Hold the red record
Yep.
now.